Hi there, it's Lou here, that yacht girl, and today I'm at the Schaefer Yachts facility in Dania Beach, having a look at the Schaefer 450 Flybridge. So I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that until a couple of weeks ago, I really didn't know a lot about Schaefer Yachts. I turned out that I brought some clients here to have a look at a boat, and I was kind of curious to find out more. They've got a really interesting product range and a background story that I find interesting as well. They've actually been in business since 1992, founded by a Brazilian naval architect, and have built over 3,500 boats between 30 feet, I want to say, and 86 feet, I think was their biggest so far. Don't quote me on those numbers. So they've got some pedigree there and some history. So today it's a little noisy here, but thankfully we are undercover. So let's step on in and get a close-up of the Schaefer Yachts 450. So a little tricky in here to get some really good shots of her externally, but I think she's a very handsome boat. I'm loving the blue color on this particular one. And I also love the fact that the side windows on this, while they still give a lot of light and brightness on the interior, they don't dominate the hull shape. And they're a really nice, clean shape and design as well. We can obviously see down the back there, we've got a fold-out platform, so we'll have a closer look at that. And you can see the flybridge there as well, and those bow cushions. I'll try and drop some photos or footage perhaps over this to give you a better idea of how she looks from the outside. But I think there's some nice details on her, even down to the stainless steel plate on the bow there underneath the anchor. A little bit of extra protection there. And just generally a pretty handsome looking yacht. So now let's step on in. I've come right up to the Flybridge to start this tour because even from down there, I could see this was going to be a pretty spacious area. And I'm already trying to remind myself that this boat is actually a 45-footer. I'm already pretty impressed. The finish up here is gorgeous. It's a teak deck. And in fact, Nils, the owner here at Schaefer USA, he explained to me that the teak was all plantation grown, so it's grown specifically for this purpose. And they deal with that. They mill all of that themselves in Brazil as well. And this area is sensational, especially for 45 feet. You've easily got dining space here, a comfortable table for 6 people. For cocktails, it's a lounging area for 8 to 10 people. Throw in a couple of deck chairs. It's a really, really wonderful area. Now, I also noticed that their arch back here, which has all the equipment, including, of course, your Starlink, radar, etc., it's really nice and low. And given that this boat has a folding bimini top on it, doesn't have a hard top, for people who want to do things like the Great Loop or have bridge constraints, height constraints, getting into the dock, this is a great option. So the bimini, when it's up, will give you a lot of shade, obviously, right through this area here. But without that, you've actually got a pretty low profile boat. So let's move on toward the helm and have a look at that area. So to the forward area on the Flybridge, what have we got going on here? It looks like a little mini bar. There we go. We've got a fold-out trash can there. And I'm guessing this lifts up to become a wet bar. Excuse my voice. So in here, there we go. We have, that is possibly a refrigerator. It looks like it's at least an ice box. And I guess you could always add panels. As I understand it, the factory is very open to customizations as well on things. They will work with clients really well. So they've got a nice seat here as well for anyone who's hanging out with the captain while you're running. And of course the helm area. I'm going to fold that down just to get an idea of visibility from when you're sitting. I mean, that is pretty good. And that's me sitting down when I'm up on the bolster. Of course, your visibility is fantastic. So when you're coming into the dock, I would usually prefer to have the bolster up anyway. I tend to find that. And of course, the bimini that I mentioned before is there. So that would normally go up. They're in the middle of prepping this boat and detailing it. So we're in sort of preparation stages. So the helm here is pretty much everything you'd expect to see. We've got Volvo Pentas on this particular model. I understand there's some different engine options on these, of course, including stern drives, and I believe an outboard version, but I will, of course, as always, add links in the description below so you can go straight to their website and have a look. So we've got twin Garmins, yay. Your Volvo Penta control, so you'll have dynamic positioning and all the good stuff that comes with the Volvo system. And that's all pretty standard. Radio down there. I like that they've left switches here as well, including your winch switches there. That's pretty great. Much easier to operate if you're underway or on a rocky boat. Okay, so let's head on down below. Actually, little note point. They've got a lid there on the companionway coming down, or the stairwell. And now we're down to this fantastic area, the rear cockpit. And this is another great entertainment zone here. These side fold out panels, of course, you see that on quite a lot of yachts these days. They make a hell of a difference to your entertaining zone. So I'm loving that on this. And I noticed on one of their other models that they have storage lockers inside there as well, so you can stow away different things inside that panel still. And again, down here, we've got great seating. You would easily get comfortably get six around that table. I think you'd get 8. And of course, at a cocktail hour, the more the merrier. Down to the aft deck. And of course, given that this one has the Volvos, we've got a hydraulic deck on the back. So this lowers down into the water. Obviously, it's a great spot to keep a tender or a jet ski. And over this side, we've got the swim ladder. On the other side there, I can see the stairs. So obviously when this deck goes down, those stairs will go with it. And that will give you easy access to this area as well. Now I'm curious in here, we've got a locker. I'd love to see what's in that. Can I get it open? Let me come back to that, see if I can get it open. So I'm really glad I stopped and got that open, because have a look at this. That's a really good locker in there. Obviously they've got a shore power reel in there, and that is obviously the ideal location for that. Our shore power connection is just off on the starboard side of the boat there. So that's a really good storage area. But look what else I found. There is a tiny but very practical captain's cabin. So what a great little area. I think that's fantastic. I've had way worse cabins than that on significantly larger boats. Now I can see underneath there, they also have a head installed. There's a switch on the side, so I'm guessing that is an electric head as well. We've got a vanity here and the bed area. Now, yes, it's small and it's very simple, but it would be pretty comfortable. We've also got some great storage there. They've got the life jackets down there at the moment, but it gives the captain a little bit of storage space also. So before we head inside, I'm going to head up along the side deck. Now, it has been pointed out to me, we've got a bit of a leak in our roof up here. So they struggle with keeping the boat in tip-top shape. But have a look at that. Beautiful, big, wide windshield, all one piece there. So let's have a look at that on the inside and see how that comes together. And of course, great sunbathing areas up on the bow here. That area is huge. And you've got adjustable backrests here as well, I believe. These lift up. There we go. So you can adjust those to be up in a more sitting position as well. So that's a great area. That windshield just looks huge like that. Can't wait to see that on the inside. So you know I love coming down and having a look in the engine room as well, just to see how things are laid out down here. We can see we've got the twin Volvos. These are D6s, 650s. And a good area of space there to be able to get through the inside there. We've got our generator over that side. And behind me here, the trusty Seakeeper. So this is a Seakeeper 3, which is an option on them. They're predisposed for those even if you chose not to have one. But I think if you were buying a new boat these days and didn't get a Seakeeper, you might need to get your head checked. Switchboards over here. Everything else pretty much as you'd expect it. But again, what's surprising is the headroom down here. Now I can't stand up, but I'm not on my knees either. So I think that's pretty impressive. So let's head back up to the air conditioning on the inside. Actually, before we head inside, this little detail, your access ladder into the engine room. I love how they've done that. They've created the stainless to just bend over the engine with that wooden step to step down on, then down inside. It's another little detail. And I think this boat is proving to be pretty strong on those sort of details. So to start with, as we head into the interior, I notice that this first panel here folds all the way back. And I think we've got some magic going on. More hinges here. So what we've got is a bifold system there. So these doors will all fold back all the way over to this side, over to the port side of the boat, which means you've got this entire back area open. It gives you a nice access to the bar here in the galley. Great for entertaining, and also just makes it feel nice and open. But today is a heat wave day in Fort Lauderdale, so we are going to shut that back up and get back into the interior of the boat. So let's start here at the galley. Now, once again, remember, 45-foot yacht. It's a bit of a pocket yacht, really. It's got great storage all across the top there. You've got a twin cooker here. I can't see if that's in, yes, it's induction. We love an induction cooker. Always got to have induction. Well, I love induction. I love it because you get the space straight back after using it. They cool down straight away. So that little piece of bench space becomes usable real estate again. Neat drawer details there with a stand-up drawer next to your cooking area for oils and what have you. Let's have a look at all of this good stuff. Oh, there you go. They've got the coffee machine and little mini vac. I'm loving that they've got drawers everywhere. That is nicely done. Okay, that's a real, yacht touch there, having the plates with the brand on them. Oh, and look at this. Oh, I'm loving this, how they've done this. Okay, these sort of details make my heart sing. I think we all know I love a bit of storage, and I love the fact that they have totally maxed out this storage in this galley. So this is fantastic. That's really nice job. That's a nice deeper drawer there. Trash can. And this looks like it might be the only cupboard in the galley. So that I'm really impressed with. It's got a good amount of bench space here, a nice size sink, induction cooktop. There's your extraction fan back here, which I think is clever. Instead of having that up the top, they've got that in behind so you don't lose the cupboard space up here. And then over to the starboard side. Okay, there we go. Okay, switchboard. Fantastic. So that's nice and easy. That location is pretty convenient to everything. We've obviously got air conditioning controls there as well. They've got this nice freestanding bar unit here. The glass holders and everything, the details on the glasses are lovely again. So this could be relocated as well and used anywhere else on the boat. And in here, twin fridges. So we've got the freezer in that side there. It's not the biggest freezer in the world, but that is quite a good size fridge area there. And this one has a front door on it, but of course with the cupboard attached, you don't see that. But that's a pretty good size fridge area. And again, some useful bench top there as well. So now into the salon, nice lounging area. And again, this boat is only 45 feet. So we've got nice, really details in all of the upholstery here as well, which I think is nice. The TV is obviously in underneath here with your Sonos system. I'm really liking the level of detail and the finish on this boat. The fold-out table, obviously, so you can make this into a nice dining area or keep the space a bit more open, which 9 times out of 10 you generally would. I love that they have all of these little extra ottomans as well. There's a couple outside, a couple out on the side deck there. So super useful bits of furniture. They don't take up much space and can be all pushed in under the table if you want them out of the way, or can be used wherever you need to have them at that time. I think that's a really great idea. And the table is also height adjustable, so you can bring this down and make a day bed area out of it, have a movie night or something like that. But as it is, that is a huge big sofa area. That would be lovely for lounging on. And now up to the helm. I kind of love this detail for the opening window here on the side. It's kind of very plain, like aeroplane like. So that, I don't know how it opens. Let's have a look at that. So I thought this was going to be the case. It's pull knob here and the window slides down like that. So I like that you've got some communication with people outside while you're docking. Probably most of the time you'll end up docking it from the top station anyway. And of course, adding something like a yacht controller to this, where it's often going to just be a couple's boat, is a pretty good idea too, because it gives you a lot of flexibility. Okay, let's have a look at the rest of the helm. So to start with, over this side, we've got the fuel transfer buttons, exhaust buttons. So now I'm wondering if that is like a captain's cool exhaust. I'm going to have to ask about that. I'll drop some notes into the description. We've got your bilge pump switch there. The seatkeeper panel is hidden down in there, and a drink holder, handy for the captain. Of course, your Volvo controls, trim tabs, power on off. You've got your twin Garmins again, and the joystick control as well. So it couldn't make life much easier as far as operating this boat from down here. And you've got that, which again just feels like a real kind of touch from a much larger yacht. So that's pretty impressive. It's a great visibility from here. That's what I'm getting at. And you know, when I'm sitting up in the helm seat, for example, if you're having a nasty weather day or you're taking this up north and it was cold, you have got fantastic visibility from this spot. So let's head on down to the cabins. Okay, you've got the stairs heading down there. And we come forward into what is set up as a V-berth at the moment. The air conditioning is really pumping here today, so I hope you can hear me over that. We've got a couple of drawers in either side there and some storage in the middle, but these, I can see it already, these convert and easily make a double bed here. So this gets to be either a twin cabin, or we connect those together and make a double cabin. Let's do that for the visual. There we go, look at that. So what a great way to maximize the versatility on a boat. Storage lockers here and all the way along the top there as well. So again, the storage is pretty good. Oh, another storage locker over here. I think they're doing a great job. And again, I just keep coming back to the fact that it is just a 45-foot yacht. Okay, now we are into what could be the day head, and also the head for that forward cabin. You've got the mirror straight ahead of me there. The vanity, where is the light switch here? Can I find the light switch? There we go. We found it. Found it. Okay, so vanity, nicely done. The surfaces are also all really easy to clean in here, which I like. It would be very easy to maintain. It is kind of a half wet head. You've got the toilet there in the shower area, but with that closed, it at least keeps this area dry, the vanity area dry. So I think that's a really good compromise. You know, again, 45-foot yacht, there's going to be some space restrictions, but I think they've done a great job of maxing that area out. And now let's head into the master cabin. So I stopped for a second to find the light switches because blonde moment. And as you walk in through the master cabin, through the door here, you step straight forward into the head, and it's the same layout as on the starboard side. So we've got the wet area, which is your head and shower. And then the vanity area stays nice and dry. Again, pretty good storage going on here. We've got cupboards underneath there. There we go. They've got the toilet paper built in, a little trash can there. More storage. Now I'm wondering if they've got, oh, they have, I love it. Storage hidden up there. Great stuff. And of course, useful little bins down here as well. So this is a pretty great area. I think if there was anything on a wish list for me in this area, it would be to have lighting maybe here. But there you go. If you do want to put a face on while you're on the boat, that always helps. So let's step down now into the master cabin. Now this is midships on the boat, so there are obviously going to be some head restrictions in here. But I think they've managed this pretty well, and I love the look of it. I love the combination of the wood and the high gloss white. I think that's a nice combo, and then the neutral greys. Let me set the camera back down to show you some of these head heights and how it works. Okay, so I've tried to position the camera so that we can actually see what's going on here with the headlining. So as you step down to the cabin, you've got an area up here that's nice and high, plenty of standing headroom for me. I'm 5'7". I've got at least another 6 inches above me there. And then when you sit down on the bed, I've also got really good head height. So you've got sitting head height. You can sit up in bed and read or watch TV or what have you. So this head height works here. And then around to the side, while you step up one step, I wouldn't call it full standing headroom, but this is pretty good. You're not on your hands and knees. You can still walk around just fine. But for anybody taller than 5'6", you're not going to be having too much head clearance. But again, 45-foot yacht, and I think she still packs in a lot. So this cabin is really nice. You've got the settees on this side over here. My personal preference, I don't even know if I'm on the camera at that stage. Let's come back to that. I'll show you around. Okay, so this side we've got the sofa. My personal preference would probably be to opt for more storage. Then over here we've got storage locker. And, oh, that's your air handler, so that's not storage there. We've got your little unit here. When you're in the bed looking forward, you've got a small desk area here. And again, they've thrown in one of those ottomans, which I think is a great idea because ordinarily you could just push that back right into that corner or poke it in under that desk, and it really doesn't take up much space at all. So I'm loving that. I don't know if they've, oh my God, they've done it. They've done it. So all of those ottomans, I'm going to check the ottomans upstairs, but it looks like they all have storage inside the ottomans. So that's made my day complete. Here we've got a little desk. That's really neat, actually, holding all the remote controls. That's probably what it's going to be used for more. But perfect size for a small laptop. And of course, you've got the TV there to watch from the bed area. Now, this side, I push that ottoman back in there. So I've regrouped to show you this side of the cabin. I push this ottoman back into here. But even if you have that wedged in there, you can still get into your locker here just fine. Now, there's no hanging space in this one. That's all just shelves. But to be honest, we need a lot of hanging space on a boat. I'm not a fan of clothes and neat ironing at the best of times, but there we have it. Now, this is sensational. It's a 6-drawer unit, and they're all really deep, even the ones at the bottom there. So that is a ton of great storage. So I'm pretty excited about that. Of course, a nice bench area there on top. You know, the design of this, I think, is really lovely. Right down to the finishes, the combination of grey, the white, high gloss, and the touches of wood. It's very clean and it keeps it feeling very spacious, but it's also warm. It's not cold and sterile at all. It's a lovely area. So, as I said, my only thing down here might be I would probably opt to have more of these over that side, just to max out your storage, but it's pretty comfortable. Let's head on back upstairs. So I thought I would finish up by testing out this lovely big area, which is sensational. You could watch TV all day from here. This is super comfortable. As I said, you can make that table into a lower height and turn this into a big daybed area. I did also check out all of the ottomans have the storage, so that's crazy exciting in my little world. So this is a pretty nice spot to be on the boat, and I thought here I can run through some of the stats on the boat as well, which I will also drop into the description. So you'll have all of this and all the links. But as I keep saying, this is a 45-foot boat. In fact, she's 44 foot 10 inches long. She's got a beam of 14 foot and a draft of 4 foot 8. Now that's with the Volvo IPS. I thought I saw online that you can option these up with different engine options, including stern drives or outboards. I'll double check on that and add a note into the description. Fuel capacity, 317 gallons. There's lots of details there, the freshwater capacity. I'll drop all of this into the description. It's a 2-cabin boat, as you've seen. So 2 cabin plus 1 crew. Now, if you're running this boat as a couple, you probably don't necessarily need a captain. However, that space then becomes invaluable storage space. So that's a great area to store water toys and other equipment for the boat, cleaning supplies, what have you. This particular one, as we saw, has the twin Volvo D6s, the 650, so that's 480 horsepower each side, and a cruising speed of 25 knots. Not a super fast boat, but she's a Flybridge boat. It's not what you'd expect in this sort of thing. And a max speed of 29 knots. So these are, I think, a really lovely boat. There's some really nice little details on this and design features that I really appreciate. And it's all wrapped up in a fairly classic Flybridge style that still looks really handsome and contemporary. So there we have it, the Schaefer 450. I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough tour. Please do like and subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that. So if you've enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, see some more. And I will see you again soon. I'm actually going to be doing another walkthrough on a Schaefer, hopefully tomorrow. Bye for now.